You stay up all night editing this masterpiece of a video that you spent weeks scripting and planning and recording, and you upload it and it gets no views. Well, gosh, Timmy, I wonder why that's happening. It's because your fucking thumbnails and your titles, they suck. But we're gonna fix one of those things in this video today. I'm gonna teach you guys how to make really clickable thumbnails on Canva. And whether you've got the free or the pro version of Canva, don't worry, I'm gonna, accommodate for everybody. There's gonna be a way that you can follow along. We're gonna be using some pro features for sure. But if you find yourself unable to do so or whatever, you get stumped, just, skip that part or find a workaround or something like that. But I am going to show you two different methods to making thumbnails in this video. This is going to be for the people who want to make the kind of thumbnails that like have their face in the thumbnail. You're putting yourself in the image, kind of like a podcast or a talk show host or something like that, or even like a tech channel. You guys can see here, these are all of my thumbnails that I've done recently, and they look, pretty uniform and everything like that. So I'm going to teach you guys basically how to do exactly this same thing. But the second method will cater more to the people who have the free version. So if you want to just skip to that and you want to use Canva, you're not paying for it, then just skip to the second method. All right, folks. So it's really simple to do this, actually, to create these magnificent works of art that you see before your very eyes right now. I'm going to teach you exactly how to do it. So we create a brand new page from scratch. And first thing we got to decide, do we want a light or a dark background? As you guys can see, I like myself a nice dark grid background. And it's kind of annoying because like I didn't choose an actual photo of a grid. I just placed all these individual like grid pieces, as you can see. So I had to like line them all up nicely. So I'm not going to do that this time. And I'm just going to find a photo of a nice complete grid. I make your life and mine a little bit easier. All right, so we'll go to elements and we'll just search for a dark grid. And you can try either a graphic or a photo. We'll start with photos and just see if we get something nice and simple, nice black grid texture. Something just like this is perfect. Boom, right there. So we've got our grid. I like to adjust the transparency a little bit and make the lines a little bit less like in your face. Something down to almost like a 25, honestly, would be perfect. And we're moving along quite quickly here. Now we're at kind of the most important part, which is getting yourself in the image with the background removed all nice like that. Little shadow behind me and everything. I have very nice photos from the weddings that I do on the weekends and stuff like that. So, kudos to you guys. But if you guys don't have like really nice professional looking photos of yourself like this, that's fine. Just get in front of the camera at the end of the video you're recording. Either maintain the same exact shot that you have like in your video, the talking head shot that you're using, or you could just like do this and then get like a freeze frame and then boom, you just use that. So either way, just get an image of yourself that you like, that you want to use. Either, make sure you're looking into the lens of the camera, you have some kind of expression on your face, or you're just looking all dark and mysterious like this or whatever. I don't know. But facial expressions definitely work great. If you have like a big smile or just an extremely like outrageous expression on your face, that's going to get clicks. So I could just like duplicate this over, I guess, but that's not fair to you guys. This is a tutorial. So we're going to just place our image right here. All right, boom, just like that, we have our image. And obviously now I need to remove the background. So obviously Canva has this background remover tool. This is a pro feature. So if you got pro, go ahead, click background remover. And it should do a pretty accurate job at getting you out of there, especially since I just had like a plain white background. It's going to be flawless. If you have a lot of clutter in the photo, if there's stuff like obstructing your face and in front of you and stuff like that, it gets a little bit choppy. So try to take a nice clean shot of yourself. And obviously I have to kind of enlarge the photo quite a bit here because it's a full body photo. So I'm just going to kind of zoom out my page here and make the photo as big as I can and kind of get it. Oh my God, slow down. Get it into place here. Okay, and that's kind of the perfect size right there, to be honest. Right about there is where I want it. Now you can see this one has a little bit more spice, a little bit more pop to it. So how did I get it to look like this compared to like this? Well, Timmy, I'm glad you asked. So you're gonna click on the photo, you're gonna go to edit, and once we're in here, we go to adjust, and the two things that I like to do right off the bat is up the sharpness and then up the clarity. And that's just going to give it like this really deep, dark, contrasty, bold look. And I don't know, it's just something that I've always noticed that all these guys do with their thumbnails, all the years I've spent studying YouTube stuff. And it really does just make the face on the thumbnail pop more than it would otherwise. So I recommend that you guys up the sharpness, up the clarity. You could play around with the brightness and the highlights if there's way too much bright light on your face or something like that. But try to have really good lighting and stuff like that. All those boxes checked and taken care of before, you even take the photo. All right, so now that I have these sliders kind of where I want them, those are the only two that I really worry about adjusting. We're gonna go back to edit one more time on our photo here, and then we'll click on shadows, glow, and we're gonna make, if you have a white background, you wanna go for a dark black shadow. If you have a black background like we do, we're gonna go for a white glowing kind of shadow there. And I like to make the blur all the way and kind of adjust the size to where it doesn't look like, too much going on there. But right about there is kind of where I want it. And you guys can see that shrinks the image down. So you're going to have to expand it and kind of replace it again once you go ahead and do this. But you just tinker with it for a minute and you get it kind of right about where you want. It's a little bit smaller than the one I had before, but honestly, that's perfect. We'll make it a little bit bigger. And right there, that's perfect. And you guys can see now that we're looking at this here, it's starting to look like a really professional thumbnail at this point. All that's missing is just the text and maybe a couple icons, graphics, things like that. So depending on whatever your video is going to be about, I'll make one for the video I'm doing right now, how to make thumbnails. So I'm just going to go ahead and grab my favorite kind of text font over here. I like to keep it not too big and in your face for kind of my style. You can kind of have like really big, bold text go behind your head and stuff like that. We'll check that out in the next method. But for now, we'll just say something like maybe let's try watch this and people will clicking on your videos ... And you notice I didn't just repeat the exact title in the text here. That's not something you want to do, right? Putting the text in the thumbnail is an opportunity for you to say something in addition to the title. It's another opportunity for you to get some words out there that people it's going to be right in their face. It's words that they're actually paying attention to. It's not something that's buried down in the description or something like that. You want it to be something that is complementary to the title, not just like restating the title. That becomes purposeless and you're going to get less people clicking on your video that otherwise would have been intrigued by whatever you could have said here. So I kind of like this. I'm going to try this, and if you guys hopefully you see the video, hopefully I haven't changed it. We'll see how it works. But I think that's like perfect placement right there. And now I just need some kind of icon or graphic to support the theme of the video, the idea of making thumbnails, improving you guys' thumbnails. And in a lot of cases, I would say avoid logos and things like that. But because this is like a Canva specific tutorial and it might, be attractive to people to see that right out the gate, they understand this is Canva, a tool they've heard of or familiar with, or they're already paying for. I want to capture those people. So we're going to take a Canva logo and we will slap it kind of like right there, maybe in the center. Now let's go to the left. And you know what? This is a perfect opportunity to show you that my whole kind of mind has just changed right here. I now realize I want to say something different. So as much as I just like hyped up exactly what I just said here before, I'm actually going to change it. And I do this a lot. Everyone does this a lot. You're going to do this a lot. But now I'm realizing like having the Canva logo on there with this particular phrase is just it's not doing it for me. So now that I have the Canva logo and I want to go a bit of a different route, I think I'm going to say I'll show you how to replicate this thumbnail. Maybe not ... for this one. We'll do an exclamation point because we're fucking excited about it. So you guys can see it's looking aesthetically pleasing. It's just kind of like got some dead space over here that needs to be filled in with something. So what I'm gonna do is try an arrow, and we'll try to get a good one that goes along with everything else that I've got going on, and we'll make it white obviously so it pops. And maybe rotate. And I like to go ahead and add this little underline to, some of the words or one of the words of kind of emphasis that I have going on here. So we'll highlight thumbnail. And that's it. That's a finished thumbnail right there. And it should be the one that you fucking clicked on to watch this video. So yeah, maybe we'll even go with like a yellow arrow or something. Just to make that shit pop, baby. That's what I'm fucking talking about. Finito. All right, so that's the first method. Now I want to show you guys the second method that's a little bit more simplistic, takes a little bit less work, even though that one was actually really easy, didn't take a lot of work either, but this one's even fucking easier. And if you're not using the Pro Canva, you'll have no problems with this one, no hiccups. You'll be able to do everything that I'm showing you, besides placing the text behind, your head in the background. You will not be able to do that without Pro. Everything else that I'm about to show you is good. Like I said, guys, this one is going to be really simple. So you can see I just have a screen grab here from my previous video, one of my previous videos. This is a screenshot of this camera angle that you're looking at right now. And I don't know, I just chose this particular screenshot because I'm looking at the camera, I got my hands up, and I'm basically looking at you like, what the fuck? I don't know, but I thought it was a good screenshot. So I'm going to make this the full size of the page, obviously, and I'm going to show you guys a few things to do. So obviously I have a nice like vignette going on and a little bit of like color grading going on from the video itself. So we're not going to do too much. All I want to do is go to edit. We'll spruce it up a little bit, maybe with some brightness, right? But you guys can see it kind of creates a problem when we just work on a single layer. And that's something we're going to talk about real quick, is just layering our photos to make something that is very simple look a lot more extravagant, a lot more lively. So we're actually going to just duplicate this layer and place it in the same exact position right on top. And now, again, this is a pro feature, so if you don't have this, that's fine. You don't have to do this. This is not necessary. I'm just doing it because I can and because it makes things look a little better. But please, if you don't have the pro version, just skip this step and just continue following along. You can work with a single layer. It's fine. But when you do have pro, you can do things like this. You can remove that background, and now you can see when I adjust my brightness, it's really only doing it on my face and like towards the center where I want to pop. I can also add the same thing, the sharpness and the clarity, and that's really going to make me kind of just like pop off the page there, as you guys can see. And then we go to the bottom layer of the photo, and we're actually just going to make it a little bit darker. So now we edit this, go to adjust, brightness, and just turn it a little bit down. And you can see how, you know, whatever's in the center, your subject right in the center there, is really bright, kind of like spotlighted, popping right off the page. So all you can do from here is just add some text, right? You can add some text right next to you. And for this style, I like to keep the text kind of small. So let's say I was making a whole different video, not a thumbnail video. Let's say, I don't know. This mindset is keeping you stuck, for example. Sure, let's go with that. Let's say that's what my video is about. So you could do something that's just like a bit like slapped on there like this. This mindset is keeping you stuck. Honestly, I would consider that a finished good thumbnail. That's something that people do nowadays. You just keep it very simple, very raw, organic, freeze frame from the video, and just slap some text on there, keep it minimal, keep it a clean looking shot, and all those things added up, combined, you wind up with something that people click on and they feel like they're gonna get like this really wholesome, organic kind of video, very relatable, kind of conversational style video. So that works very well. You could also kind of try something similar, and again, this is if you have the pro feature. We take our text here, and since we have this removed background, what we can actually do is make this text a lot bigger. So let me kind of just take a second to adjust this the way I want it. And I might actually go for like a double stack like that. And I'm going to make this text really big. And then I'm going to place it in between these two layers here. So I go to position, layers, and I'm going to take my text and place it in between the two layers. And what that does is it puts it in the background. This mindset is keeping you stuck. That's a really cool way to go about it too. But yeah, that's it. Those are both my methods. So you can either keep it really organic with the freeze frame from the video, or you can use the first method and use like a really professional kind of background image and really have like a nice, clean looking talk show host kind of style. It just depends what kind of message you want to convey to your viewers. You know, do you want to be seen as a professional? Do you want to be seen as someone who's like an authority within your space? Or do you want to be seen as someone who's just like really down to earth and relatable, whatever? Now, obviously, you know, the things that you say or do in your actual video is what is going to convey that and ultimately like decide that for you, not the thumbnail by itself. But the thumbnail is, you know, it's the doorway for people. It's what they expect. It creates an expectation, and you want the video to live up to the expectation that's being set by the thumbnail. You could go ahead and create some killer thumbnails after watching this video, and you still don't have great retention. You still don't have great views on your video. Well, you got to ask yourself, what is the expectation that my thumbnail is creating, and does my video match that and actually live up to it? But that's all I got for you guys today. Thank you so much for watching. Click right here to watch my last video on the 5 pillars that are going to revolutionize your journey to getting your first client.